Right? And then they kind of walk in and it's like 500 years. In 5 years, but like, yeah. Back then, when I was old,
yeah, please put together. Any other question? Please. Please, yeah.
One thing we were talking about, when we worked that you were for an employer that sort of study company forefront, we see quite a handful of speakers, but we really like how you're sharing like your experience. I think a lot of the times they just like jump into content where you don't truly understand what a person's experience was. So I think that was something I was.
Wow, thank you so much. Please. Yes, please applaud. Come on. You have to put already. Yeah, absolutely. I train speakers. I have over 200 speakers working for me, right? And many have their kind of businesses and places like our speaker and college. I said the first thing is connection, right? And in diversity work, the person is connection. If you can't connect, there's a book written by John C. Maxwell that says everyone communicates, but the book is about you connection. Buy the book. If you want to like how you get sleep online. If you can connect, and people use connection sometimes in the corner. So Alex, you're very connected, that's why you just go into the ranks of the bank. But the connection didn't come find me. Exactly, they didn't come find me. Have you taken the time to know who's your boss's boss? I think you think it's your boss that promotes you. Your boss recommends that you're promoted. Guess who signs it? Your boss's boss. That's if you've never made the time to say, oh, hello, Charlene, and Charlene's like, I'm like, Alex, I report to Alicia. Oh, it's unfortunate that you bosses recognize us by reporting, but it's just what it is, right? So it's connection, and I really appreciate that, absolutely, your feedback. Oh, yeah.
When you're in a position to encourage folks who are, their ideas, their head, do you have a way of saying?
To unlock the closed mind?
Listen.
To unlock the closed mind.
That's right, yeah.
Short answer, you can. Short answer, you can. Guys, Alex, why are you getting your blood pressure up? I just know this family is over here. I said, if there's anybody right now who still don't understand the power, purpose, potential of EDI and anti-racism, it's because they choose not to. True of us. Come on, respond. No, let's be honest. If I say false, it's kind of like choose your opinion, right? But that's just what it is. Like, am I going to come here and say, oh, there's racism? That's what. I can bash my own profession, but I see speakers going, oh, that's why you're going there to prove to them there's racism. You just wasted the time. Like they know there is. Right? Go there and show how despite racism, there is hope. And there is hope. People used to say, oh, you were confident, I use that. But I have found out that I'm a coach. If I coach people, they progress. So there is hope. So we are all where we are. In my book, Welcome to Greatness, I said that we are where we are because it's the level of our brain. You are married, your marriage is here, it's your level of awareness. If you have a business, it's here, your level of awareness. So my business are profitable because my level of awareness is high. And my level of awareness is high because I spend 4 to 6 hours studying every day. I woke up 4:30 this morning and I spent 4:30 to 7:30 learning, reviewing budgets of companies, finding out where they put the money, finding out research on things I have researched. I've spoken on leadership at least 5,000 times. I've written books on it. But when they call me for leadership, I never use the same presentation. This is a brand new presentation. I may take one slide, change the color, do this, research the words. There are new words every day. So one more, because we really have some content to cover. One more.
I would just say that the difference between leadership and management that you spoke on and how that really impacts the entire structure of what you're trying to do.
Fantastic point. Fantastic point. We are looking at the person at the top to make the change. No change. The post statement. No. Right? So we are looking at the top to say make the change, but no change has ever started from the top. Take that to the bank and bank it. If you want change, empower the people at the bottom to make the change. Right? The CEO in most cases will sign the check. Right? If the CEO wants change and the people don't want it, it's not going to happen. People will leave. I remember when I was in the bank, I won't mention the medical, but and then we got a new CEO, and he says, we are so service focused, we should be sales focused. When the customer calls, we built a system, $70 million. The system, when you call me, it says, Alicia, leave it, Alicia doesn't have visa with us, Alicia doesn't have mortgage with us, Alicia. So instead of me focusing on why Alicia called the bank to help her, the computer is telling me what to sell to her. I don't think that was nice. You think that's nice? I don't think that's nice. Oh, Alicia, I didn't get my statement. I said, oh, Alicia, I noticed you don't have a mortgage. No. That's good, man. Good, man. Right? So the clients were getting angry. So my point is that video, they drove him out, board of directors. Like, he just caused some issue. Okay, so let's proceed. So why now, which comes first? Why? Maybe one person can answer us on one of the three questions. One person, go ahead. Why not?
The need of the art, because we all work together, it's very important to understand different background, like not just background. What are they comfortable with? The small things like which culture they are coming from, and eventually your institution is invited. Get that. So it's very important to understand that aspect that people are different, their choices are different, their requirements are different, and so you can take it.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Which comes first? Diversity, equity, or inclusion? I think philosopher here. Philosopher,
I'm thinking inclusion. You got to start with what you have first to make it equitable, and then you can kind of look at more diverse ways of, the whole system there.
Okay. I see some people like, all right. Dave, and then Paco.
I think maybe what you should try to start with is at least an openness to equity, because if you haven't even got that, the first people who are included might get really mad through the round. Right? It could be a toxic environment. So, yeah. I think if you're setting up a business now, before you hire your first employee, I think you need to think about principles of equity, because with most of our labor force growth coming from immigration, right? Chances are you're going to be hiring people who are, not white guys like me.
Absolutely. I see you put some look on people's face. So I thought they were like, I never thought about that one. One more, Joy, go ahead.
I think it's diversity first, because I don't think you can achieve equity and inclusion if you don't understand your population.
Yeah, so the truth of the matter is, some teachers say there's no wrong answer. My son comes that study. Teacher said there's no. I said this question there is a right or wrong answer. No. Like no. There is a right or wrong answer. That's my opinion. Don't take this to the bank. Some banks won't find it. But in this one, I want to defer to that. It actually depends on the culture in your organization. It depends on the culture. If you bring me in, I speak to minimum 2% of your staff, leaders and staff. I can tell you where you need to start from. We've done it for Canada Basketball, United Way, city of Brampton, so many organizations, I can't even count, at least 50 organizations. I can spot it. If I walk into this store called Sportco, I can tell you where they need to start from, transformation. So people kind of love how I speak, and I get a lot of speaking engagement, but I am a strategist personally. That's what I do. I've worked on projects over $1 billion, and it's not a joke. I used to do 170 million. I was involved in that. We did one for government of Jamaica, $300 million. We did another one for another organization of $40 million, right? Some of those projects have 1,000 consultants in it, and in some cases, I'm the lead consultant, right? So I'm not kidding. I can help this personally. Me, I work across. I help this company make 40% increase in their profit. 40. Now they're expecting the whole world to come down just by that sport code with the T missing. That's taken away from your brand. That's telling you, let me try further than my main find a company that knows what they're doing. Simple thing. Psychology, your psyche is what makes your decision. Most people don't actually decide. It's their mind that doesn't go here. So if you have been watching Law and Order, where blacks are always raping a white girl, if you see a black guy near your daughter who's white, you'll be scared. 100%. It's been proven. Cable boss. He's black, 6 feet. He ran away. But if he's white, they say he's male, 6 feet. He went here. So other people, black. I used to go on the train when I used to walk downtown. I sit down, the white woman will just take her bag and walk away. Like, do I smell? Right? So psyche is very important. So this one actually depends. You need to know for your organization, especially if you are a decision maker, right? If your organization right now don't have diversity in it, don't start with diversity. Please don't, please. Because they will run away. Start with equity. If you don't understand the fundamentals of equity, you bring in blacks, they'll go through the back door, or you create mental health issues for them, right? If you have a lot of minorities in your place, like the call center that is like the United Nations fill up with immigrants from everywhere in the world, inclusion. As you're doing inclusion, be looking at equity, but inclusion becomes number one. They don't feel included. Using that back as an example, when I said I wanted a black mentor, they didn't have. They don't know that I've done my research. I'm a smart guy. I knew the highest ranking black person was the director of a call center in Lawrence Avenue, 760 Lawrence Avenue. I knew that. I knew all these big towers they have downtown. There was no black at the top. I actually went there on my day off. I'm a staff of the bank. So I walk around, look on the floor, look on the name. I said, huh? So from 23rd floor up, no black. So when I was saying, give me a black mentor, I need a data. They run around, and they eventually hired one because I spoke up and I stood by it. That was the first time a bank that had been in existence for 150 years had a black VP who ran away, by the way. It's still my friend. Because it says when I show up, they've had a meeting. They tell me 10 o'clock, I show up 10 o'clock. The meeting, they've already had a pre-meeting, so they are basically just telling me what to do. I mean, why you want to go and scout this guy from another bank in the US. So, welcome first. It depends. You need to know, living here, don't live here for it. You know, ask people, grab me, I'll stay. When I speak, that's what people like, I stay, then someone let me speak, I stay. Because if you live here with more questions than answers, I fail. That's what I teach you for speaking. I say, they like, I've given you opportunity, my cards are with you, my emails are with you. I've even offered a book. I've like, so if you live here without knowing, then it's maybe you decide where you want to be. But don't live here without knowing what to focus on in your organization, especially if you are a decision maker. You need to know. And if you have mind, you have to say, right now, how many diversity I should have. Use Government of Canada statistics. They are 3% black. If you want to talk about black specifically, people in Canada. In Toronto, it's 10%. So if you're in Toronto, 10%. Right? For schools, I'm doing some school boards. I've done field school board, upper ground, your school board here. I'm doing like, I am the lead consultant for those school boards, right? So Canada school board. And I tell them, I said, in this particular school, there's 30% minoritized. But when I look at your staff, teachers, EC, guidance counselor, and all those, there's only 1% minoritized. You don't need rocket science. You are a big school board, transfer some teachers from here to here, give them extra pay, then pay 10%. Prepare them though, because the teachers who are crying. My teacher cried to me yesterday, I'm not kidding you. From one school board, he says, I'm the only one, I think I already said that. I'm the only one in the school board, the only one in the school. I get more racism from the teachers than the students. So one student came to me and said, I would never have expected to have a black teacher like you. Boom, what do you do? So, my friends, that tell somebody, look at somebody and say, diversity begins with me. Don't look at me, look at it, go ahead. Want to go? Oh no, we can do. We are smart people. Want to go? Say diversity begins with me. Yes. Doesn't matter what color of your skin. Doesn't matter who you love. Doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't. That's between you and whoever you pray to. What's my business? If I think you can do the job, then I bring you in. But if I think I don't have enough racialized or minoritized, and I think you can do the job, I should consider her first. That's not a reverse racism. That's, what is it? Bologna. Not Bologna? No, something like that. Maybe Bologna. I don't know. But it's not. The Charter of Rights backs you up. Section 15. Whosoever will read the Charter of Rights? They called me to Ottawa to come and give it a speak on the 40th anniversary of the Charter of Rights. I asked the person, I said, do you know why? He said, of course, you come highly recommended. I said, I'm very truthful. You want to take me to the chamber of the parliament? He said, that's why they recommended you. And I went there. I said, I'm honored to be here. I said, this Charter of Rights was written by 7 white men, and no woman was considered or consulted. Blacks and indigenous did not even have a voice in this country. While we celebrate the Charter of Rights, which we should, I think it is time to review it and have minoritized people at the table. Maybe remind me saying my family. I say, I know, I'm watching. But that's the truth, though. My point is, diversity begins with you. And if you feel you should hire a black or a woman, you can. Section 15 of, mark it out, section 15, section 15 yes. It says that clearly. I check it every day in case it changes. That's what I'm saying. I check it every day, right? Yes, in case it changes. And it says that if you need to hire somebody of a minoritized background because of equity and diversity, you are free to, and it's not discrimination to the white person you didn't hire, as long as they are equally qualified. Thank you. I went to speak to schools and I told schools too. They don't know in schools, who knows about the School Act of 1860? It was created by Ryerson, who was Ryerson University. And when they created it, these blacks were not allowed in schools. Indigenous were not allowed in schools. They say school is for white. Blacks are only about it. Indigenous are only about it. So they gave them residential school that killed most of them. And they told the blacks, wherever there's 5 black people, create your own school. But don't come in here. And then you are wondering why racism is on the skyrocket in the schools. Because the school was built on the colonial structure. So, what are you? I need one person to take a chance on this. Tell me what is the difference. No Google, I caught you Googling. I'm just kidding. Can't explain it, but let me say that. People will often say, what is the most common word in corporations today? I'm a what? Ally. You have to say ally means I'm willing to die for this one. Ally was in the military term. You know the Allied forces. That's an ally. During Hitler America said, we're not going to get involved in this war. Hitler took over Poland. If he takes over this thing, they will come wrong. And then the same General Eisenhower, I have a chapter 6 in my book, Mistake of Leadership. I talked about strategy and allyship. And I talked about General Eisenhower united 13 countries and built over 1 million forces. That, and they call it, these are allies. And they put gun and they look at their spouses, bye baby, I may not come back. I'm going to fight for freedom. Are you willing to put your job on the line for the immigrant? I'll say that for them, but that's not. An advocate is like a lawyer. You pay them, I went to divorce, you pay them, they come to court, and they defend you. When the thing gets tough, it says, give me more money. You don't pay more money? Back now, I paid $40,000. I have no more money for you. Me, I'm ready to remarry her again, just to pay more money. Bring her, I'll marry her again. Like, Anyway, that's an advocate. There's a limit. I only go as far for you, depending on what I get, right? And then there's an activist. I'm done. Martin Luther King. I'm going on the street. Black Lives Matter, let's do it. LGBTQ group, let's do it. Those are activists. They are sold out completely. So I invite you and advocate for that becoming an ally. We are using the terminology ally. Ally is one who's associated with another identified a person or group that provides assistance and support in an ongoing effort that is struggle. It's not often used especially for a person who's not a member of the marginalized group. Or it's not often used. It's basically telling you this is not what it means, but it's not often used for that. Right? So for you to, if you live here today, up your game, build the confidence to speak. Forget your workplace, start with your life. Start with your kids, and thank you for those who shared story of how they educate their kids. On the dining table, talk about it. I told the teachers, when I speak to the teachers, oh, we feel restricted. I said, I appreciate that, madam, but allow me to counteract that. But whoever said you can't spend the first 5 minutes before geography to talk about social justice? Hello, class. Today we are going to talk about the planet called Jupiter. But before we do, I found this up at my granny that said diversity is civilization. I want us to talk about it. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? For me, I think about this. Anyway, put your hands together for talking about diversity and civilization. Okay, now let's talk about Jupiter. Will you be breaking any rule? No. Did you need budget? No. Everybody, some of you are here, so we don't have budget training. We don't have budget with them. Then you'll be the trainer. Just do it. So anyway, that's Alex. So onboarding, I'm going to show you a framework we built for onboarding, right? And I can, again, spend so much time on it, but they are set to explain it. The Society for Human Resources says onboarding refers to the process, refers to what? The process. Please, together, refers to process. Refers to process. For most people, think onboarding is an activity. Thank you. We've hired you. Let's introduce you to the president and the vice president and to your chair and to your cubicle and to your computer. Stay here. If you want to eat, go there. If you want to eat, go there. Goodbye. No. It says it includes activities. The process is the activities. I used to do a project for them. And they'll say, okay, let's create a new process. And sometimes some process have 600 activities under that. Check clearing process. You think you just clear the check? We pack it up in the middle of the night. We used to process $1 billion in checks when I used to work at the start. I was the head. They $1 billion in checks. We moved it somewhere until they finally got a system that made it easy. But I used to go to the place that was 40 checks a second. The system and the check goes, and if it's wrong, and so onboarding is a process. Here is how I see it. This is my framework. The process, one of the most critical misconceptions organizations often have about onboarding is to consider it a one-time event rather than an ongoing journey, which is the process. Onboarding doesn't commence post-hiring. In fact, it starts with the candidate's first impression of the corporate culture. You can take a picture of this. And then they apply and extends to their entire tenure. This is very important for you to get. This is, you are smart so you can understand it. I don't need to explain it, but basically what I'm saying is, when somebody wants to work for your company, they Google it. True or false? In my days, yellow page. In some people's days, what did you have? Oh, a newspaper. I like that. Yeah, newspaper. Is there a newspaper somebody here? I don't know. I don't want to point people's age out, but in my days, there was no Google, it was yellow pages. You know, the rubber guy can testify. In your case, newspaper, maybe in your other case, I don't know. How did people look for a job in the 60s? The newspaper, I guess. I don't know. But in any case, so that's where it begins. When they go on your site, I've been to some of your sites, for those that you know, some companies, certainly this organization that runs here, looked at the board of directors, looked at the executive team, you know, like, and I was, okay, all right, that's interesting, right? So that's what they do. So when they are coming in, that's already the onboarding. They have said, okay, there's no black, no minorities, no woman sometimes. Sometimes I see 12 board members, no woman. In Canada, there are more women than men. Did you know that? Did you work done? If you did, they say no. Did you know that?
No.
It's there. Just Google the statistics, Canada, 51% women and 49% men. People who are that's women. So, and your board, none. You didn't find a woman. Bring your wife in there. Bring your daughter. Like, bring somebody in. We need to hear women's perspective, true or false. And the women says, amen. Right? So that is where onboarding starts. You want to retain them? Show them people that look like them in the onboarding process. Right? When I was looking for a business analyst job years ago, there's this credit union on 427. I used to drive past them. And after eventually I bought a car. I think it was from 445. I bought a car. I got a credit card, $2,500. I maxed it to buy a minivan for $2,500. I woke my wife in the morning. I said, baby, let's go downstairs. She went downstairs. I said, see, I bought you a minivan. I got my first credit card, $2,500. I maxed it out. The people, the banks, like, they investigated it. I said, you don't say I can collect it. He said, but it's not your money. Who cares? I can collect it, my credit. And I used it. When I wanted to buy the car, the guy said, plus taxes. I said, plus what taxes? You wrote 2,000 times in the newspaper. What taxes? He said, are you new in Canada? I said, yes. He said, that's why. I said, dude, you can't upsell me to taxes because I don't have. If you know how I got this 2,500, you should even say, okay, give me 2,000 and take 5 for yourself. You know we're going to eat tomorrow. Anyway, long story. So, and your process becomes your culture. And your culture is your benefit. Your culture is where you benefit. It was Peter Drucker who said, no matter your strategy, culture will eat it for breakfast. Please.
I have a question. And I don't know the actual stats right now, but I think about like 70% of all organizations are like between 0 and maybe 100 employees. And like 10% are big corporations that probably have more, I guess, structure. So what would you say are some ideas for really small businesses who are hiring a lot of new Canadians and people from all different backgrounds that don't have any? Like, I know I've been in the workforce for 30 years and I've never worked for an organization that even had an onboard. They didn't have a job description, right? So what are some suggestions for those types of companies, like small construction companies, let's say, or like consulting, but small consulting, just they don't even have anything, but they're trying and they realize they've got barriers, but they're trying. What are some strategies for them?
Absolutely, great question. Small organizations, how do you put things in place to ensure that you're kind of EI compliant, you don't compliant, but that way. Noah, you started a company the other day, right? And you were typing on the computer, and I'm like, what are you typing? What was the document called? Terms of service and terms of reference, right? And your terms of reference is if I was to pass away today, well, not pass away, if I was to give the company to my sister, my brother, or somebody else, is there a document that captures how I would like to see it run? And that document will say, like I spoke to one woman who runs a major non-profit in Canada, major, high level, and she's stepping down, and she's looking for somebody to run it. And we discussed and said, because we are focused on Black, like, I don't know how to say, well, I would like the head to be Black. I said, well, you can't say the head, right? You can say that. One, you own the company. Two, the company focuses on Black. And three, focuses on women. So you can say, preferably, you write it down. I say, if you don't write this down, if you don't write this down, then they can bring a white guy to run it. So how would you write it down? How would you want to? So if we have, you say, moving forward, we want to have 3% minorities in this company. Don't use number, use percentages. You all know the reason. Numbers changes, percentage doesn't. So if it's 10 people, you have 3%, it's 3. I feel my answer, but I think I'm good with that kind of thing. Right? So 10%, like 300K. Like, so that's, and you write it down, right? You write it down and say, if somebody is pregnant, right? If somebody is sick, if somebody's direct family passes, right? They take 3 days off, right? My organization is, let's say, fair. It's like people love it. Alex, I want people to be on the Thursday. So they say my son's playing the game. I'm like, oh my goodness, what grade is he? Oh. So what are we going to do on Thursday if you're not here? Like, dude, man, relax. So, does that answer your question? Have a terms of reference. I woke up one morning, it says write the terms of reference. I didn't teach him that. I said, no, what are you doing? He said, I'm writing terms of reference. Like, Jesus Christ. Terms of reference, that's too big for you to even talk. You're 7. He said, but I'm writing it for my company. What's your company again? What does it do? Quickly. Which of the companies, right? Anyone, each one. The one that says make juice. The one that has it says, why can't he play basketball with his brother's age? I said, because you're too young. He says, that can I form mine? And he did. He went to his neighborhood and he got 5, 6 years old and they formed a team. What was the basketball team called? Shelburne Fire. Shelburne Fire. So, yeah. So, but this is this is everything about onboarding. Just look at it. It starts from your online profile, like I said. That's where it starts from. Because what they see here is how they come into the organization. I went to that credit union on 427. I'm not kidding you. They loved my resume. They called me for an interview. And the interview took me, the elevator took me to the 12th floor. I'm not kidding you. When you open, I thought I was in heaven. Everybody was like, I'm serious. Like, it sounds funny. And guess what? They wore white clothes. I didn't know there was a uniform there. But apparently there's not. Everybody just have white. And when they were sticking me down, nobody said hello. The woman said, follow me to the room. I'm like, don't, like a mission impossible. Right? I knew I was not going to work here. Nobody smiled to me. Like, come on. Nobody smiled to me. Nobody raised their hand and said, oh. They just look at me, boom. If I had the courage, even though I'm very courageous, I would have just said, don't bother interviewing me. Just go back. Right? So, job description, gender equity language, gender neutral language, right? He must be. Oh my goodness, some people are not he. Did you realize some people are not he? Some are she, some are not she. Like, the candidate should be, the incumbent should be. There are words for that. Because some people are not she, some people are not she. So what do you do? So all these things and the job posting. Oh, Alex, I don't know what you're talking about because we post the job and it's white people that apply. So what do you want us to do? I see. So I take a deep breath for those that send on how to so that you manage the emotion. Take a deep breath and go understand what it's about. But have you considered sending the job posting to Black Business Professional Association, which is BBPA, the largest Black organization in Canada? Or have you considered sending it to the indigenous job circle? It's not costing you money. Is it costing you money? No, it's an email. And then they send it to 10,000 or 5,000 in their pay, and then you have more resume. So are you learning from this? Yes. Only one person like my dad was whack me in the head. Like, see, I told you. Are you learning from this, please?
Yeah.
Right? So, and then the interview process. Please never take an immigrant or a person, forget immigrant. Never take a person into an interview and it's just a white man interviewing one person. A black woman, a white woman, it doesn't matter, a Chinese woman. It's just not right. We've done this for generations. True?
True.
It's just, and the white man is looking at me and saying, well, the episode of Law and Order I watched yesterday, black guy raped a white girl. So I'm just like, that is what she has in her mind. She can't help it. It's true, your mind is what carries you. So, we've worked with organizations to really do what I'm telling you. I give you a case in Canada basketball. People told me, so they called me on LinkedIn, Alex, you can make change. I'm telling you, they won't change. This organization, that. Okay, I appreciate that. Today, people are calling me from inside saying, Alex, you won't believe it, man. This was going on, man. This was going on. I said, I'm glad. Right? So organizations do change. They do change. But my God is saying we have to do the change with the time. So please, onboarding, job posting, doesn't matter. All these things help you to sustain them. Interviews. People say, oh, Alex, who do I take? It's a small company. I said, then take the business analyst as a woman with you. Tell her, hello, did you mind me? Like, she's already like, what? I'm not a boss. Like, yeah, I just look at the person's resume. What do you think? Oh, well, I think it's good. But the person doesn't have Excel. We go, oh, really? Okay, all right. So now you got input from her. And then when you sit in the interview, there's Dave who's a white guy. If you don't have a black or any minority, then you put her as well. And the person could be a male, female, neutral gender, but at least they feel more comfortable that if I don't find favor with him, maybe I could find with her. True or false? True. True or false? True. Yeah. Good. So, and that's the process. And then, of course, in my opinion, that hiring process, if those four are not done, that person, the chances of the person staying in the company is very slim. And then you now move to orientation process, and then to performance review. This is my opinion. Do not consider your onboarding done until the first review of the increment. Don't consider it done until the first review. If it's give them a 3 months. So if you do one review a year, this person is new. At the end of 60 days, give that person a review. And the review is not for you to always tell them their feedback. It's for you to seek feedback. How comfortable have we made you feel in this 3 months? Oh, like you, the person will be shocked because this is not normal question. No, we get you a project, you didn't deliver it, we're going to fire you. Is that not true? I put a humor, but that's true. When I train management, I say when you have your one-on-one coaching session, 80% they should speak. If you speak 80%, you are the student, the client, the staff, and they are the leader. Leaders listen, like, use the power of question. How will make you feel in the last 3 months? If there was going to be a check, what check do you recommend? And the person is scared or trying to look at your body language. Can I really say, it's okay, when there's going to be a check, maybe we should have this. Now your company gets better. And of course, orientation such process you all know. And so this is it. On your book, there's this thing there you can stay to do. You can take that away with me. I think on page 7. Page 7, right? Page 7. That is how you can go home and access your company. Now, that is for the onboarding. I'm going to look at the questions. So the question is there. Look through those questions. There's anyone that maybe the information that I can give you. But look up here, if you don't mind, so in the last few minutes, let me show you the framework for retention. I've talked a lot about it. What I often do is I say the stories, I say the process, then I show you the slide to back it up. So I don't need to spend too much on the slide. So this is the checklist for the onboarding which you have in your workbook. Same questions. Question and answer, we'll just skip that at the end. But now, onboarding check. How do you now sustain, right?
Can I just add something to the onboarding part?
Absolutely.
So what I I've started doing more in the past maybe 10 years is with all my clients to, in the interview process, I get them to ask the employers, at every stage, how do you like feedback? And how is feedback given within the organization? So right through the interview process, like you said, it starts like that's part of the onboarding. And then I get them to kind of establish an onboarding plan themselves because a lot of companies either they don't have one or it's not very good. And so I get them to like on the first day, do a check-in and get feedback and ask if they would, the employer would like feedback. And then every single week, for the first 6 months, to actually have a formal like 20-minute check-in to give feedback and ask for feedback, not wait until the 3 months, because only in my business, I get a lot of people who get terminated at that 3-month mark.
Yeah,
Because there was
absolutely.
no feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it just helps with the community.
Without a question. Now, the 3 months feedback is common, but as you said, it is beneficial. One-on-one, let's just forget diversity. If you are in a position of authority, you don't do one-on-one every week. You are not the leader, you are a manager. Now let me go out with you on that one. I wrote that management versus leadership. I have 2 chapters on it. I have a framework on it. If you don't hold one-on-one with your staff, and now with lawsuit, you know, you can almost not fire anybody anymore. You fire them, they just Google it, and they'll find a reference point that this happened. And the question the judges often go to is, prove to me that you have done everything beyond reasonable doubt to have avoided this fire. And that includes, were you meeting with her every week? So you waited 1 year to tell her her job is not good. Pay her $85,000. That's what it is now. So one-on-ones may sound like archaic, but it's very beneficial. So don't wait till 3 months, settle it done, please done. Do your one-on-one, but at the 3 month, recap those one-on-ones. And for your that feedback is mostly from them to you, because I onboarded you. Now you tell me if I did a good job with you, not for you to go tell them they didn't do a good job with the project. You should have told them in your one-on-one. Is that clear? Is that in line with what you're saying? So I think I talked about this with Adroka. No matter the strategy, culture will eat it for breakfast. Your culture is very, very powerful. So here is the framework that was built for culture. Similar to the one for onboarding. You can take a picture of it. I don't know if it's workable, but executive support, I think we have done the singing about that. Very important. If the person at the top is not engaged in it, it is not sustainable at the bottom. And then we talked about balanced representation when they go on your site, right? Especially with the board of directors. Like board of directors is not like you have to be some professor from Harvard University. Find some reputable people, chief, indigenous chief, right? And these days it is encouraged to give people, they call it stipend, honorarium, something, right? You're not paying them $60,000 a year. At the end of your tenure as a board or every year, we'll give you $1,000. Not a big deal, right? Get an indigenous chief, and that indigenous chief, when they sit at the board, they will say, you know, in my culture, this is how things are. Now you're get a black person in the community. Once you have women, black, indigenous, or even if not black, a Southeast Asian, right? Somebody minority. So I think you get it. Balanced representation is critical to the sustainability of your culture. Period. There you can have the best equity policy, but if everybody is white like a 12th floor on the anytime. This happened to me almost 20 years ago. When I'm driving on 427, I still look at that building. I still do, because I remember walking in there. I'm like, maybe it's heaven. Everybody wore white. Nobody's white. Right? I really hope it's changed now. But then, of course, that body. Right? That body. Can somebody say that body? It's very important. It's kind of a big word. It's not a big word. If it's Excel you have, it's just Excel. how many racism or incidents of racism was reported in this organization. Depending on how, if it's a small one, you may not necessarily need complex reporting, but track it. Every quarter, every year, we is our implement our target. Who knows about 50-30 challenge? Write it down, somebody, please write it down. It's not my initiative, it's the federal government initiative. I was involved in it, about 50-30 challenge, 50/30 challenge. If you just Google it, you see government of Canada suggesting, they didn't mandate, and I actually have an interview on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel, Alex Yama. You see me interviewing the federal minister, right, who worked on it. Why did you create this? Why did you mandate companies to do it? And she explained it, he explained everything. So, and that suggested that you should have 50% male, 50% female, and you should have 30% minoritized in the organization. Based on Statistics Canada, men, women, minoritized, 30%. That's it. And then, of course, your policies, which is similar to what we talked about, and then celebration of diversity. Many organizations, they are good with this, but not good with it. Very, very good, right? The city of, I say this because it was public information, city of Ajax, I think it is, or Pickering, one of those, on their Black history. They said everybody should bring Jamaican party and play for Mali music. Even Bob Marley is like, dude, man, what are you talking about? One of their staff posted it on Twitter. Oh, it made its way to the news.
She said this.
Nobody heard? You can Google it to see.
I heard.
So imagine that. Please don't go tell your people to bring party for Black History Month and play for Mali music. That is not even redundant, and people were insulting them. I told my staff on the rest of the question, I said, listen, fire an email to the mayor. Let the mayor know we've seen this on the news. We would love to offer them a complimentary diversity session to the councilors, right? And that really recognize that this was, it could not have been intentional. Nobody does something to backlash. It was just at the level of awareness. It was funny to a degree, but for us, it wasn't funny anymore. It was, don't laugh at them. They are making some effort. That's my opinion anyway. Like, I don't laugh at people. I don't laugh at the fall. So, I mean, they didn't make the offer, but, you know, so please, Black history is coming up. And if you don't mind me, somebody asked me a question, what should you focus on Black history? We have over 200 speakers, so if you need speakers, I can send over 200 speakers look up to me, Alex Yama, the CEO for work, right? Alex, I said, no, this engagement, I wanted to say, they say it's me, they want, like, when they want me, sometimes it's a lot more expensive, but sometimes depending on budget, to send other people in. My take, please, as I round up, I'm running up, for Black history, focus on empowering the Blacks in the organization if you do have. If you don't have, then of course, don't bring party in, but you know, bring somebody to educate and increase awareness. But if you have Black and minoritized, I mean, I'm not saying we should downplay the pains that we have experienced, but I think almost everybody knows how can we move forward? That should be the conversation. And if you want speakers that want to talk about that, please let them know. And training and development, depending on how big the organization, even if the organization is small, you should have a training curriculum. I have a sample. If you go on our website, the sample is there. Just go on Canadian.TV. You see a sample of curriculum. You cannot train all your staff on everything about diversity in less than 10 years. People are like, what? You can. Why? Because they have a job. They are not coming to work to learn diversity. Be realistic. Two of us. You want to train everybody, you want to bring all the speakers. It won't work. Break it down and say this year, we'll train on this. This quarter, we'll train on this. And gradually, we'll get there. Please.
So my question, and I'm so glad that you brought that up because it's true, like nobody, one person can just take 1 hour and know everything. So there is an element of fear of what if I say the wrong thing or what if I offend somebody? And how is that handled? Now you, at the very beginning of your discussion today, you said lawsuit, like you said a couple times. Well, that's what employers are petrified of, and nobody wants a lawsuit. And I hope, I mean, everybody has different motivations, but I hope most people never intend to offend or be racist or or anything, and you just said it takes sometimes 10 years, right?
We,
So what do the people in positions of hiring and authority and that do to deal with mistakes and not suddenly have a lawsuit, but to address it?
fantastic question. Here's what we did. People, when you're doing that, like, okay, whoa. So I step back, pull together some of my top lieutenants. Let's start this. That's how we came to this conclusion. Some of them have PhD, I don't know what they have. But, we sat down and we looked at it, and they looked at it from an education and adult curriculum perspective. And adult things is maybe if they're not married, they have kids, they don't have kids. Like, there's so much complication. You can't choke people with the content. So we built an online. You can actually, again, go on the website. And also, right now, frankly, my hand is up. I don't know any organization in Canada that have as much online content as we have. So here's what you do. You bring a speaker to give a little talk like this, and you give them access to online content, right? How to do inclusive communication, we have over 600 courses. In fact, let me quote Dr. Wendy Suke. I'm here recording this. Dr. Wendy Suke, who runs Diversity Institute at the Toronto Metropolitan University, who's one of our key speakers. That Alex, I've never seen this kind of, like, we do major events. Another event is coming up in 2 weeks. We have 60 speakers, 100 speakers in our event. All their speeches, they sign a waiver. We record them. We have a team of the studio people. They edit them into courses and load them up. Some they make free, some they put paid, some are certification program. We created inclusive leadership certification program in partnership with Diversity Institute and for City of Brampton. 5, 6 modules. If you are in positions of authority, here are 7 traits you must understand to do inclusive leadership, how to build trust, how to engage in difficult conversation, how to foster inclusion. How long is it going to take you to do that in New York University? 10 years. So let your staff have opportunity to get access to online content so they can learn. So that law should actually come. What have you done? What have you done? Well, we have provided our staff with access to over 600 courses. And we allocate to them 1 hour a month that is paid. 1 hour a month is paid. Take that 1 hour whenever you want. Just go online, take the 15 minutes course. So to come here and tell me that you use racist language and we didn't protect you to use it, that is a lie. You have not managed your time properly. We gave you the resources, we gave you the time. So some of those content, some organizations bought them and put in their system. So any of you have LMS, learning management system? Raise your hand if you do. Let me just see. Yes. So people buy content from us, indigenous content, women content, gender equity content, black content. Right now, if you go say Canada basketball, for example, you become an employee, you are going to go through an anti-black racism, specifically anti-black, because 80% of players in basketball are black, right? And it's my voice on it. I literally did it for them. I have a friend that's like, you don't have budget, like forget budget, do it for us. And I did it for them because I have a friend there. And they now say, oh, I would like this. And they put it up. They have had 400 basketball players, some are NBA players to go through it. I've got so much feedback through LinkedIn and other sources. Here's one that I cherish from a man called Coach Steve Koczynski. He's the oldest basketball coach in Canada, a white guy. This is Alex, I've been coaching for 40 years. And I've coached many black, which I went into this sport 40 years ago. It's right there, comments right there. The director of finance of one organization said, I'm the director of finance. He says, I hope this sport can be in every school so we can learn it as a kid. Anti-black racism, everybody should learn it. I'm not saying here because I'm black. You should learn anti-indigenous as well. You should learn anti-gay, you should learn all those ones. But I'm telling you that, forget what I'm telling you. The government of Canada finally just signed it into law and say, you know what, you guys have gone through hell. Let's designate you so you can get this opportunity. So it's just what it is. So to your question, you can't train everybody on everything. Impossible. Even if we were all trainers, we can't. Like, who knows the variations of diversity? I don't know if there's an indigenous people here. I don't know if somebody who's part of the LGBTQ here. So how are you going to train people on everything? Or you can give them access, or you can give them budget and say, On OTF, Ontario Children Foundation, budget $900 for every staff to go take a course anywhere. It doesn't have to be valid. They actually say it doesn't have to be valid. You can go take any course anywhere. So here's your $900. Most of them can do that, but that is what it is. So give your staff a little budget room. $500. This is little. They can take a course on confidence. I don't mind it's $300 US, but people have it there $100. Some have it for free. LinkedIn, I think, have some courses. So this is it. And you know, we talked about inclusive communication training and development, and please don't ask your people to buy this for black. Right? And that's, so this again you have in your book. This is really the end of the presentation. If you go on page, that page number, yeah, page 8, inclusive culture. So, Alex, how do I on board? I showed you a framework of steps. Remember what it begins with. The very first step in onboarding is what? Oh, like, oh my goodness. Oh, we need to give you a gift. Let's give you let's give you a leadership book. If you want books, by the way, they are there. It's $20. I told my son, he manages sales. I says he gets 10% of sale. So the leadership, the greatness one is $20. This one is $30, but you get another. I'll sign it for you after the class. Yeah. Who remember what the 7th step is in onboarding process? Don't count. Huh? Is it
Yeah.
You decide. Greatness or leadership? You want to listen? Okay, good. Yeah. This one, by the way, this one helps to build your confidence and helps you to identify your purpose. And literally, when you read this, people tell me to get on fire. That is good. That is very strategic as a leader from position of choice. One more question. Come here, come. Yes, my team. Yes. Come and ask them one question each. Come. I hope you were listening though. No, come here. Let's round up with some fun. Yeah, so what was one thing, Alex? I don't know, you can say what, I don't know. Ask your question. I don't know. Nick, yeah. From my story, don't look at the board. Just what did Alex say about this? You can go.
Okay, so what did Alex say about Alex being an analyst?
Yes, being an allyship. What?
You said that allyship is when you are willing to sacrifice costs.
Basically, yes. Yeah. No, when I say that, let me like that. Please, let's put a disclaimer. Oh, guys, please. Nobody dies. But that is what it means. I didn't write it. That's what it means. That means I'm sold out completely. Forget it. You know what? I lose my job. I resign. If this is how you're going to treat the blacks in this organization, I resign. But you're right. Like, you're crazy. I resign. So that's what it is. So what do you want?
I'll have them on later.
Okay, that's it. Okay, Nora, please pass it on. Because this is your job. Take my son. Hurry up. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. One more from you.
I had some time.
Okay.
What did Alex say about, oh no, I lost it. Oh Lord. What did Alex say about, how to get other hiring managers on board with PEI strategies?
As a question, you asked.
Are they open or they're not open to?
Who are not open?
Get rid of them.
Is that what I said? Get rid of them. Okay, right. That is okay. He may be getting rid of them, but you know, we gotta be politically correct. Hey, this guy, don't get me in trouble. My bosses are here, the ones that hired me. They're like, what?
You
I
can't.
think you said something that you can't change them.
You can't. The truth is you can't. Like, I'm gonna write a book on transformation. It's what I do. I do transformation. I sit down with people. I give you a quick story. A client of mine wanted to get married. told the person, I accept your proposal, but I won't marry you except you go through Alex's program, which is very interesting. So the guy literally came like this, like literally, right? You know, it's like, I said, well, nice to meet you. Uh-huh. And I said, and to cut the story short, I said, just be honest with me. This is man to man, it's me and India. Is it her that is forcing you? Of course, she told me but I said, is it her that is forcing you to be here or you want to be here? He said, I don't want to. I said, on that note, let's just, what do you like to do? Soccer, basketball, let's just spend the time and talk about it. You know, and so he brought up a topic and we started to talk about it. And when he was really like, when's the next time we meet him? Well, who can tell me what happened? One word. I use the word.
Connection.
Connection. That's what happened. That's what happened. Now, I've also been in a situation, a guy, director of marketing in a major organization. I've mentioned the name already here, but I won't point one. Major, he just said, well, we don't have money for anti-black. So the CEO brought me to meet with the CFO and said, we didn't budget money for anti-black, but he said, we can work with Alex. He's already reduced the cost so we can have him. Then the woman said, we have for indigenous, we budgeted for women. I said, okay, I have indigenous and I have women working for me. So I can include them in the project so they can give content on indigenous and women. And then by default, we build in the black cost in. The guy's like, that's not right. The CEO said, well, I understand what you're saying, but there's nothing wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about it. He just exited the Zoom. Boom! It was gone. Just exited like that. So I think this guy was going to be in trouble. Eventually, they brought us in. Same thing. I'm speaking just like this. Alex, you're talking about inclusive word. That's your word is not inclusive. Jesus. I said, okay. And I will answer it. So the guy was a fan in the flesh. But, you know, I got an email from the executive. It says, we just want to honor you for how you handled it. We are also handling it within our system, right? It was basically saying this guy, we don't want to fire him, right? But we are working with him. Yeah. They didn't end up firing him because a year later, we did the job, we did it fantastically well. They now invited me for a fun activity, annual event, which they just said I should come have some wine. So I went, and that was the first time I met him in real life. It was really cold. I said, oh, you. I was just trying to be friendly. So like, come on now, like, yeah, we're gonna take it. Like, I didn't say all this, I'm telling you. I just like, okay, and I just moved on. You think I'm the one who's gonna change that guy? No. Make an effort to connect. Don't bust your head over it. And if you are a boss and there's an employee that becomes a resistance to the change, then I have a program called Managing Them Out. Not fire them. Managing them out.
Better.
And listen, you might, the way I have fired people in the bank, they thank me crying on my shoulder. Meanwhile, other people, because they tell us, before we reduce your staff by 20% because we have to meet it. That's how they fire crazy people. We went to meet the budget. So who am I going to let go? Alex, you know how it is, right? So I started to think who I can manage out. I didn't know it was that was what I was doing. But I said, you know, share it. If money was not an issue, what would you be doing? Ooh, she lifts up. Oh, I love fashion. I used to make clothes. Meanwhile, she has no idea that she's about to be let go. And I said, but why don't you do it? Yeah, you know, I should. I said, do it. I said, you know what? I will do some research for you tonight. You do some research. Let's come back tomorrow. Let's see who can help you take this to the next level. And I actually do the research in the night. And I come to work in the day. And I say, see what I found. And then I hold them, I work with them a bit. I say, listen, there are changes that are going to come down. I'm just letting you know now, it's going to go in the directions we may not expect. I say, for me, I'm always ready to do that. So and those are things. So I prepare. 2 weeks later, now 2 weeks to the end of the fiscal year, October 21st, I say, Makir, how does it going? Alex, you won't believe it. I'm actually going to Vegas. They have a conference for designer clothes in Vegas. I'm like, I don't know what your husband will say, but you know, we joke about it. And then I say, listen, your package is going to help you do this. I'm getting one. I said, of course you are. Don't thank me. It's the law. The company is going to pay. They are still my friends today. So learn from that. You don't have to. That is how I coach executives. I say, you manage people out. When you just call them in the office and say, we are let you go, the person will commit suicide. Or the marriage falls apart. Or this happens. Now, for those who have spirituality in their blood, I believe there's things going to happen when people die. And I think that if you don't get paid for what you do, you're going to get paid somehow, somewhere. That's my own personal opinion, right? So I say, and I leave you with this thought. When my time to pass comes, and when people think of me, I want them to think of integrity, humility, generosity, and compassion. Please, nobody should mention I already put important. Nobody should mention what I anticipated. Not even important. Nobody should mention who I met. Not even important. Important is that I am a living example of what I want to them. With that, I bow. I thank you for the time. If you want to buy book, please buy. We accept credit card.
My gift.
I'm just giving you a gift. This is a gift. I know sell this.
My book.
This is a gift. Noah, get some more magazines for the school. Quickly, yes. Magazine normally is $10. The book is $20. The other one is $30. So, but
So as we wrap up today's session, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here. It shows your commitment to integrating the workforce with different types of your commitment society. So thank you. And also thank you for your active participation and your consistency. And we'd like to thank Alex for the passion and the invaluable insight you shared of business today. And we hope to be able to implement and support your document. But before you head out, I'd like you to take a minute to fill the photo of the in the folder. This will help us to be able to, maybe improve our. This will help us to be able to make improvement of your work. Also, looking ahead, you all have the flyers for our network conference, mark your calendar for February 8th. We have a workshop on February titled Navigating Grants and Immigration Process. If your organization or business is looking at how to get grants to hire immigrant talent, and also the Ontario Immigration Program. So we're going to have a lineup of experts from IRCC, from the Ministry of Labor, and from Service Canada, and also we're also bringing in an immigration lawyer, Jay Barulina, who will be coming and answering your questions regarding LMI or whatever you have in the list. Also, I'd like to highlight here that we is funded by IRCC. We are here funded by, this is one of the benefits. So we're funded by IRCC to assist you in your efforts to get your opportunity. Thank you again for being here today, and we hope